Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is Crooked Nature. My name is Allie. I am going to have a quick little video before I go pick my kids up from school and run some errands. And I wanted to show you guys these adorable little Sansevieria Cylindrica braids that I've got going on here, which I'm not actually a fan of the braid, but that doesn't matter at all. Anyway, I just wanted to show you guys these cute little Sansevierias, and they are absolutely tiny. They're absolutely just like, see how skinny that little guy is, and they're not very big. In fact, they are really, really tiny. The larger, I have some larger Sansevieria cylindricas, but they are quite a bit larger than this, which makes me wonder about them a little bit now. And these, but they are often called dragon fingers, and I do love that. So generally when they're called dragon fingers, it's because you will see someone has taken like 4 or 5 of these and cut them and then put them in dirt and let them root, or sometimes they haven't even rooted yet. And you'll see them and you'll see, oh, whoop, you'll see that. You'll see 4 or 5 of these little green fingers sticking up out of the ground. And they're not like little, they're big, and they definitely look like claws. And I totally get where the dragon fingers comes from. And just they are pretty awesome. I'm gonna say it. They are very, very prolific. They're another Sansevieria that likes to be root bound. If you get one, let's see, is this the one that, yep, this one's got it. This one has one right here. See, it's got a ridge, like not a ridge, a divot. It would be a divot that's running along the side of this one here. But the other ones coming from the same plant, coming from that same little thing, is just perfectly cylindrical. Now, usually that can happen with like the first or second leaf of a plant, especially if they're actually just really small. Not a big deal, but as the plant matures and gets more leaves and more mature leaves, they will be fully cylindrical. Now, that doesn't mean that's always going to be the case, because you can absolutely get a reverted Sansevieria. And something I have found out, and I'm hoping that this is the case with something that I have, is that if you have your Sansevierias in a set temperature and then you move them just a few degrees cooler and then keep them there, when they throw babies the next time, they can be a different type. And that is really cool. And it doesn't even necessarily mean that it's reverted, because it could have been a hybrid of several different plants in the first place. You know, like you have a hybrid of another hybrid with something else. And so it's actually kind of a mystery what you might end up getting from some of these little babies. And that's cool to me. I like the idea of mystery plants. Although I am big on knowing how to take care of my plants and having a name for them. Sansevierias are they're pretty similar. I've not come across any that had any major differences, other than they just required a lot less water. And that was about it. These are super healthy. These weren't too bad. I did get these from Lowe's, guys, and the prices have gone up on plants, that's for sure. It's a noticeable difference, and it might only be $1 or $2 on the small plants, but on the bigger plants, I'm noticing differences of like $4 to $10, and sometimes more than that. So I'm probably going to end up taking this off, and just letting it out of that, because here's the thing. I don't like this because it stunts the growth. The reason why I say that is because the way that this plant grows, it's going to grow out more, and I could possibly get it to braid more, but it's actually got a really tight thing here, and I can already tell that it's cutting into the plant itself and it's trying to grow around it. Makes me very upset to see things like that. If you have ever actually grown your own food, or come across anybody who does and has vining type plants that are like grapes and things like that, and that you have to tie up and that you have to maintain, you have to change out the ties on / adjust them to make sure that they're not cutting into your grapevine. Well, I moved into a place, and the people who we bought from didn't know that the nylon ties that had been on there since before they moved in needed to go. I'm surprised that they hadn't broken down like the ties themselves. They were frayed, and they were in the wood. It was really difficult. It's been 5 years since we moved in, and it took 4 years to get one of the vines to produce again. And they're old vines. I actually managed to find that out, that they were nearly 50 years old. And so that's like it hadn't produced in years, and it took it a while. And anyway, not the point. I'm off track. Anyway, we got it. We got that fixed. I was able to get the tie out of it, and it is producing now. Finally, it's like I said, it's taken a long time, but it's producing, and they are some really good, awesome looking grapes that come in on them now. And I'm hoping this year is a really good year for it, because this will be the second year that it'll have produced again. Hopefully it does. It's got some gorgeous looking stuff going on all of its canes, so I'm not going to be surprised if it gives me a lot of grapes on that one. Back to Sansevieria cylindrica here. I'm a big fan of Sansevierias in general. These guys are really slow-ish growing. They're kind of slow to start. Once you get it, and it feels like it takes forever before the babies start popping out. But like I said, it really, really likes to be root bound. So if you have one, and see like this individual braid here, if it was in a bigger pot, I would probably downsize it, because that way it would root bound. It would bind up a little bit faster and give me babies. And I just love that. I love the idea of having these babies. All right, so I'm going to try to do a repot video on a bunch of Sansevieria tomorrow. I'm not going to get to do it today. I really do have to get going, and I'm not going to have time once my kids are here. My daughter would have a great time playing in the dirt, but I wouldn't be able to make a very good video out of it. We would have a lot of fun though. So there's that. You know, that's a big part of it. And she loves playing in the dirt. She helped me plant a bunch of strawberries the other day. Anyway, still off topic. I love the Sansevierias. Let me see if I can't get a video together of some care and maintenance and repotting, because they are actually a little bit tricky on the repot. It is not even that they're tricky, is that if they are root bound, and they're root bound really well, sometimes the pot doesn't come off. Sometimes you have to cut your pot off or break it off. And then if you're trying to separate different kinds of Sansevieria, or you're trying to just separate them so that you can pot them up into individual pots and be like, oh, look, I've got a bunch. I can, make a bunch of pots and give them away and do whatever with them. So it can take some time and some elbow grease. They are very thick, not rooted plants, and they like staying together. And tough. They are absolutely tough. They are a thick root plant. Anyway, you guys have a really good day. I hope you enjoyed my tiny little video here on these tiny little pretty plants. Let me see. Let me get a really nice picture here. Look at that dude. He's not too bad. Let me see this other one. Try not to knock everybody over. Yeah, I will just be taking these ties off of them. This little bit of ribbon here and letting them go. I'm absolutely going to take these out of here though. I'm going to put them back after I take their tie off, but I'm going to unpot them. I'm going to take all the babies out, and I'm going to put them back in here, because this is a good pot size for them. This is actually a great pot size for a single or even a double if you had two of them, because they're going to, like I said, they're going to end up growing really well, and eventually, before it shouldn't take too long. It should honestly only take a maximum of like 6 months or so. And that's if you're giving it good light and water, and it's not getting too dry, and it's not in the dark. Okay. You don't want them to be in the dark. As much as they can grow in the dark and they will tolerate it, that's not what they want, and they're not going to do really well. So the more light the better, but not like okay, so the more light the better, but don't put these guys in sun. I've absolutely burnt one. This direct sunlight will burn it, and it's not cool looking at it. It really does look like a burn. It looks like something lit it on fire, and I'm just like, oh no. Anyway, you guys have a great day. Hopefully you catch my next video, and it's a Sansevieria repot and care. Thank you for watching.